I can't really make very much because I only have these 2 tea towels. Hello everyone, so I am doing the farmers market this weekend and they are having a special bee themed event, and after a very hot double market weekend I decided to do some sewing this afternoon and have some fun. So I dug through my fabric stash and I found these tea towels that I purchased quite a while back, and I only have a couple of them, but I saw these and I thought that they went perfect with this floral fabric that I also have. So I thought I would just have a little fun, get creative this afternoon and make a handful of new pieces for the market. And I thought I would bring you guys along with me. And hi, if you're new here, I'm Jody, owner of Maison Camellia, a small batch textile studio located in South Carolina. And yeah, let's have some fun sewing today. So I haven't decided exactly what I want to make yet. And like I mentioned, I can't really make very much because I only have these 2 tea towels. So I know for sure that I want to make a couple of boxy bags, but beyond that, I am not really sure. Once I get some thread in this machine, I am going to switch over to the work table and yeah, we'll figure out what to make, and then I will bring you guys along for the entire process and show you the finished pieces at the end. So I knew that I did not want to buy any fabric for this. I wanted to use materials that I already had in the studio, and what I like about working with these tea towels is I know I won't get crazy because there's only a certain amount of fabric. So that is a good thing for me because sometimes I tend to bite off more than I can chew and it ends up taking a lot longer than planned. So I love that this is going to be a small little project. Just have to figure out what I'm going to make. So I'm going to angle, let's see if I can angle you guys down just a little bit. So yeah, so I know for sure that I want to make a couple of my boxy bags, and I can either, let's see, if I don't put the ruffle, I can use these exactly as is without having to take out the hem, but I really want to put the ruffle because I just think that the ruffle would look so cute. I mean, you can kind of get an idea of what the ruffle would look like on these with the floral, if I do the ruffle in the floral contrast fabric. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But what that means is I do need to remove the seam. So I will do that, and I'm pretty sure that I can get, let me fold this in half, I'm pretty sure I can get 2 of these out of a single tea towel. Yeah, that's perfect. So I can definitely get 2 of these, but I still have another tea towel. I have 2 of these. So the question is, do I want to just go ahead and make 4 boxy bags, or do I want to make some pouches? And if I make pouches, I can make a large pouch, I can make a stand-up pouch, and then if I take the hem out, I can make a couple mini pouches. The other option is I can make just 2 large pouches, or if I cut this way, I can make 2 stand-up pouches and 3 mini pouches. The other option is, let's see, I can make, let's see, okay, I can't make double medium pouches. Can I fit, oh, I can actually fit 4 mini pouches, so I could do, okay, I think I've decided what I'm going to do. I don't think I want to do these stand-up pouches. I think I'm going to do 2 medium pouches and 4 mini pouches, so that will be 6 pouches total, and the 2 boxy bags. Let me grab something really quick because there's one other decision that I am trying to make. All right, so I know that I definitely want to use it's bee themed. Bees love flowers, so I definitely know that I am going to use my little floral pulls for these. I think that's just an absolute must, no question. And then for the zipper tabs, I'm thinking, you guys, that I want to use this blue fabric, but now that I'm seeing it, okay, scratch that. Now that I'm seeing it next to this fabric, I do not like, it's not the exact same blue, and I don't like that. Okay, let me grab one more thing. Okay, but what I'm wondering is if I can use this blue pinstripe fabric that I have as part of my core collection, or this blue denim as the zipper tab. And honestly, this pinstripe isn't that bad. I think it looks kind of nice, but neither one of these is really doing what I would like. Like if it was this dark navy, I think that would be really striking and look really nice, but it's not. So I think I'm not going to bring in a third fabric for the zipper tabs. I'm just going to do them in the floral fabric. So that will be contrast enough. So the exterior will be the gingham and the tabs will be the floral. So that's what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything prepped. Alright, so if I haven't mentioned that quilting is my favorite part, quilting is my absolute favorite part of this process. Alright, so I think that the quilted pieces turned out really nicely. Hindsight, I might have done the quilting just a little bit closer together because the gingham isn't quite an inch, it's just less than an inch, so the quilting lines don't line up perfectly with it, but that's okay. That's just my mind telling me that everything has to be aligned. So this is going to be the two boxy bags. This is going to be the large pouch, and then this is going to be all the other pouches. So I am going to get those cut out. Then I will cut out the liners for each, and I will get all the tabs prepped and make the two ruffles, and yeah, we can start putting these together. So I'm going to go ahead and get those cut out. right, so I have everything prepped now. I've got all of my tabs ironed, and these are the little zipper tabs, as well as they will be the little D-ring loops on the side. And I've got my 2 ruffles ironed and prepped. And then this long skinny strip here is what becomes the little, you know what, I don't need this. I made this to be the little zipper tabs, but because I'm doing the flower, we'll see. I might end up finding a way to incorporate this, but I may not need it. So I am at the point now where I'm going to make the 2 ruffles, and it'll be time to start putting these together. Now I'm going to add the basting stitches for the 2 ruffles, and as I've mentioned in another video, I do 2 rows of basting stitches, and I use the longest stitch that I have available on my sewing machine for this. And I need to make sure my walking foot is up. All right, so there is the first one. And normally I do these all in a chain, but I am just a little bit, I do much better in terms of organization when I have a large amount that I am batching. If I am doing a smaller amount like I'm doing today, I don't really get into as nice of a rhythm. And so things don't always come together as smoothly, but I am enjoying myself today. I can't wait to see what these turn out like. I think they're going to be really, really cute. And I've not done a contrast ruffle before on my boxy bags. I've only done, and I'm just going to try ruffling these like this. I'm going to use one of my smaller clips because it clips really, really tight. And so I'm just going to sit here and ruffle these. But yeah, so I've done a contrast ruffle on my tote bag, and those have actually been my best sellers when it comes to my tote bags. I've sold all of the contrast ruffles bags that I made. So I think people like the look of the contrast ruffle versus the solid. That's one of the things I wasn't sure what people would prefer, which is why I made both different ways to see which one people seem to gravitate to the most. And this is, I must be pulling the wrong side. Let's see what, let me pull that one. It's not letting me pull that either. Let's try it from this direction. It really is the trick with these is finding the side that wants to ruffle. And this looks like it is it. It is much easier. You've seen my boxy bag batching video when I was making all of the ruffles. I just clip them to the edge of my cutting mat, and that keeps it in place, which is really nice if you're doing a lot of ruffles. But for today's project, I only have a couple of these that I need to make. So, and it's being a little less cooperative. I also crisscrossed the threads in this spot right here, so that's also why they are protesting just a little bit. But this is going to be really cute. Look how sweet that ruffle is. I do need to get it to go a little bit further down though, if I can. I will work with that when I sew it on. So that's the first one. So that worked okay. This other one should go easier because I did not crisscross the threads. So it should be a little more cooperative. So one of my goals for my studio is to get some more permanent furniture. I really am wanting this business to fund everything that I am purchasing for the studio, and because I'm only 4 months in, I am still working toward that goal. But I'm really also hoping to be able to upgrade to an industrial sewing machine as well. My brother has a sewing studio, and he literally lives a block down the street, and he has a really nice large cutting table and machines, but I really don't want to have to go back and forth between here and there, carrying everything back and forth. And my old trusty FOF here works amazing. This machine is still going strong. It sews beautifully. It doesn't have any plastic parts on the inside. Everything in it is fully metal and mechanical. So it is a heavy duty machine, but it doesn't sew quite as fast as an industrial machine would. So yeah, that's one of my goals for later in the year, is to be able to upgrade to an industrial machine. All right, so there is the second ruffle. So I have my liners for the boxy bags, and I am going to go ahead and I do want to make sure I put my stitch length back to where it was. And I like to sew this on first. It just makes it nicer. It makes sure the ruffle stays in place. And I just kind of pull it to even out the ruffle as I sew. Okay. Yep, so I think this is going to be cute. So there is the second one. Oh my God, these are cute. The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to cut the zippers. I'm going to cut and prep the zippers for these, cut and prep the zippers for these, and after I get the zippers cut for these, I will need to sew the zipper tabs on there. So I will sew the zipper tabs on there, and then once that's done, I will start putting these all together. And so I will kind of circle back around with you guys once I have everything prepped and the zippers ready to go before I start putting the final bags together. So I am maybe just a little bit weird in that I don't like to see top stitching on the zipper tabs or on the D-ring tabs or any of the tabs that are in the bag. I love top stitching like on seams and things like that, but yeah, for whatever reason on the tabs I like them to be really clean. So I did chain stitch all of these zippers together, but instead of coming back over and doing a top stitch, what I do is I put and I don't know if that's focusing, let me try and get that to focus. So what I end up doing, I don't know if that's focusing really well, but I end up putting a top stitch on the edge of the tab instead. And it's fully sewn on at the seam here, so that's the first thing I do. So it's not going to go anywhere, and underneath the zipper it does have a little section where it's open, but once it's stitched into the bag, you can see what it does is it leaves a really clean finish to the tab, which aesthetically I just like the way that looks better. It looks much cleaner. And the little underneath part that's not attached is fine. The zipper is completely attached to the tab along this seam right here. So just thought, I don't know if I've ever fully explained that before, and so this is what the other side looks like that I've already done. You can see how it is stitched on both sides like that, and then the top, like I said, it's fully stitched down across right there. So I just need to cut these apart and I can start putting these together. Yay! All right, so I realized just now as I was pinning on the D-rings, I did not cut out any straps for these. I do have this piece of fabric that was left over from when I cut out the liner. It's the perfect size to make a few straps. I'm definitely not gonna make any ruffle straps because I want to keep this simple. And what I'm actually thinking, the D-rings are pinned on, and so I really am ready to start putting these together, and I'm gonna save the straps for last. So I finished these yesterday, but my phone died while I was putting the finishing touches on sewing the pouches together. But this is what I made. Let me give you a closer look. So I ended up with 6 pieces total. So I ended up with 2 of these super sweet boxy bags. I just think they turned out so darling. I used the floral fabric for the D-ring tabs, and the contrast ruffle I just think turned out so super cute. And of course the flower pulls look really, really darling on here. And we've got the floral on the inside, and just let me open this up. And just look how cute it looks when it is open. I just think that these are so, so darling. And they, to me, scream bees and flowers without being literal, which I just love. So there are 2 of those, and I just can't wait to have these at the market this weekend. How fun are these? And then I ended up with a total of 4 pouches. So I've got 1 of my large pouches, and I think that turned out really, really nice with the floral tabs and the D-ring and the floral on the inside. It looks really, really cute. And then I ended up with 1 medium size as well, and same thing, floral on the inside. But look how cute these turned out, you guys. I just think that they are so super cute. And then I ended up with 2 of the minis, and I had mentioned making straps to go along with these, but I remembered that the color in the garden party collection straps is very, very similar to the colors in the floral fabric for these. So I actually think that these go together really, really nicely. So if someone is interested in a strap at the market, this is what I'm going to recommend to them, is one of the garden party straps, because I think that it goes really, really well. It's the same colors that are in both of these fabrics. So that is it. That is what I was able to make. Let me know what you think. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. All right, take care.